Hello, I'm again with the population ecology. This chapter is from Campbell biology. Here I'm going to discuss about the life table and survivorship curve. So let's go. Here, life table. Life table represents the survivorship of an organism. That means an organism's survival or the how long the organism in a population survives, and its natality rate and mortality rate. That means its mortality rate is high during its birth or adult age or during the old age. It represents the total population during the lifetime. Okay, so here life table tracks survivorship. That means life table tracks the lifespan. That means how long an organism survives. The chance of an individual in a given population surviving to various ages, that is represented by life table. Life table are used to construct survivorship curve. Survivorship curve also represents the survival rate, that is high mortality rate or low mortality rate, or high natality rate or mortality natality rate is same in young age to adult. That is represented by life table, and the graph is plotted according to the data of life table. Okay, so survivorship curves plots the proportion of individuals from an initial population that are alive at each age. Okay, so let's come to the survivorship curves. Okay, survivorship curves are of three types: type 1, type 2, type 3. These three types depends on the number of mortality and natality rate of the population. According to that, the graph is different types, like whether it is convex, whether it is concave or linear. And this concave, convex and linear graphs are represented by three types of survivorship curve. Okay, so let's discuss about the different types of survivorship curve. First is type 1 survivorship curve. It is written in numeric, or it is written as Roman letter. I have written one, that is numeric, like type 1. Okay, it is Roman numerals. So first one is type 1 survivorship species. Which species are coming under the type 1 survivorship curve? First one is humans and many other larger or higher mammals. Why? Usually they produce few offsprings. Human or other mammals, like advanced mammals or developed mammals, give birth few offsprings, but give them good care, increasing likelihood that they would survive to maturity. So they show a strong parental care. Okay, that's why the offspring get good care and good nourishment, so that they are survive a long life or lead that mortality rate is less and number of offspring is less, so that every offspring can get good care from their parents and live to the age of maturity. This type of curve is coming under type 1 survivorship curve, and it is convex in structure. Okay, here if we plot the graph here, okay, this is the x-axis, this is y-axis. Okay, yeah. So in x-axis we are taking the percentage of maximum lifespan. Okay, and in y-axis we are taking percentage of survivors. in log scale. Okay, yeah, this is 50% and this is 100. Here is 1, here is 10, and now 100. We are talking about the type 1 survivorship curve. So type 1 survivorship curve is convex type. This is like this type of survivorship curve. Okay, so yeah. Okay, this one. I'm sorry, I'm taking time to plotting this line. Just give me some time. I'm just trying to plot it. Yeah, this is the type 1. Okay, survivorship curve, and this one is convex, and where the organism showing the convex or type 1 survivorship curve is human. One example, here the birth rate is more, and also the organism lives during the adult age, and also it leads to the old age. Okay, because they show greater parental care. Now come to the another type of survivorship curve, that is type 3. Before going to type 2, let's talk about the type 3 survivorship curve. Okay, here mortality rate is more. Curve shows low survivorship for the very young one, because mortality rate is more. Okay, species with this type of survivorship curve usually produce very large numbers of offspring, but provide little or no care for them. In type 1, the species produce few offspring so that they can take care of them properly. But in case of type 3 survivorship curve, offsprings are more in number and they get less parental care from their parents. Okay, so the mortality rate is more, or they die more in number during the early age. Example, some fishes produce millions of eggs at a time, but most offspring die as larval from predation or other causes. Though lots of eggs are laid by fish, so each egg give rise to large number of larvae. That means large number of egg results large number of larval form, but they are die due to certain diseases, or due to adaptability problem to their surrounding, also due to heavy predatory activities. Okay, and another example is many invertebrates and clams. And this kind of curve, this survivorship curve is concave. Okay, this is concave kind of curve. Here I'm plotting it, this one. Okay, this is the type 3. Okay, and good example is oyster. Okay, here the mortality rate is very high during the young age, and that's why very few number of individual enters into maturity and leads to the old age. Okay, now let's talk about the type 2 survivorship curve. Okay, type 2 survivorship curve is intermediate one with survivorship constant over lifespan. So here mortality rate is equivalent to natality rate. Okay, natality rate. Individuals are no more or less vulnerable to at one stage of the life cycle than another. Here there is no not more death or sorry, here the natality rate and mortality rate maintains an equilibrium, so that the graph will be a linear one. Okay, so this type of survivorship curve, which organism this type of curve has seen? Okay, here, and mostly these are found in some invertebrates, lizards, rodents. Okay, okay, that one, natality rate. Here I'm writing it again. So this type of, and this is the linear one instead of convex or concave here, and this is the concave one, concave. Okay, now come to the type 2. Type 2 is linear one. Okay, it is the linear curve, and type 2. Okay, and good example is squirrel. I hope you got all the things about this 3 types of survivorship curve. Before winding up this session, I would like to ask one question regarding this. Okay, here I have taken all the contents from Campbell book. You can also go through that book and read it again for better clarity. Okay, here is the question: how does the chance of survival change with age in organism with type 3 survivorship curve. Okay, the question you can see: how does the chance of survival change? Okay, how the survival chance has changed with age in organism with type 3 survivorship curve. You know that type 3 survivorship curve, the question is asking about in type 3 type of survivorship curve, the chance of survival in organism is more or less. Okay, first is the how the curve is. The curve is convex. Okay, and mortality rate is more, okay. The chance of survival is initially low but increases after individual reaches a certain age. Okay, so survival rate low initially and increases after certain age. Okay, yes. That means when some of the organism reaches to the maturity or age of maturity, they lead to old age. Okay, they will survive. But when the in this type of type 3 survivorship curve, the offsprings are more prone to die. So initially the mortality rate is high. That means the number of death in organism during the larval stage or young stage is more than other organism, and this curve is this is concave. Okay, here I'm extremely sorry, this is concave one. Okay, yeah, this one, this is the type 3 survivorship curve. Oyster is an example. Okay, you can see it. Yeah, so this is all about the survivorship curve and life table. Thank you for watching. Bye.